To me, if that isn't stonks, I don't know what is.
Don't wait for me, 'cause I keep breathing fire. I won't wait for you, 'cause you keep telling lies. I keep going high, she keeps going low. At the end of the day, she's gone. But you don't wait for me, 'cause I keep breathing fire. And you keep telling lies.
Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Outcasts 2 Icons. If you're enjoying the series so far, drop a like on the video. That would be stupendous. So, I thought we'd start on our boy Stimmer. Obviously scored in the last game against Roma. Had another chance, which of course he missed, but I'm still having faith in the guy. And I think we kind of almost have to, really, because just the financial situation right now. There's some more deals in the work currently, just to try and free up some more cash. A couple more of these sort of deadwood 23, 24-year-olds that don't seem to have the potential ceilings that we're looking for, potentially could move on for a couple of million here and a couple of million there, which is just useful to help get some more money in. I'm also, like, with Caicedo as well. The issue with Caicedo is just that he is a good player, I agree, but I'm trying to reduce the age of the squad quite simply as well. But not only that, but he's on £80,000 a week and is not starting for us unless Dinko Pavlic is not playing. And that to me is a real problem. And I think it could free up an awful lot of money for us. And I just want to slowly but surely sort the finances out, because they did have a lot of older players, like 30 plus, on your sort of 50s, 60s, 70s thousand pounds a week. And that's one of the first things. Now, obviously, Stimir is actually the highest paid player at the club at £105,000 a week. That goes without saying. He has gone up to 11 finishing now. And I'm tempted today to maybe try him as a pressing forward on attack, just to maybe give him a little bit more room to make some runs for us, because I think we're at a point now where potentially that actually would make more sense for us, given how we were expecting. We're not quite on the back foot as much as I was expecting us to be, so maybe just the opportunity to make a few more runs where he can actually use that finishing a little bit more and try to actually get into some more opportunities could make more of a difference. He's also taken up yoga as a way of centering himself. He can be seen in the training ground, sat there, cross-legged, doing his ums and his ahs. Like, you can tell I've not done much yoga. That's more meditation, isn't it? But nevertheless, mindfulness is the key for Siggy Johnson, and I think we could always learn a bit from that, really. He's now the calmest man at the club. That 10 aggression, that will soon drop. Hopefully not too much, though. We still need him to keep his game face on. He's even been taking a course that will maybe allow him to teach some of the other players some yoga, so that'd be quite nice. Just get everybody nice and chill. So, we start off against Salernitana today. Disappointment against Roma, of course, it was. But we have to bounce back. We're still unbeaten in 7 games now, still looking like a very strong outfit, and that's fine by me, really. I think we can bounce back. Every team goes through blips, and honestly, here's me talking about a blip when we're unbeaten in 7 games. So, other good news is that Moschatelli is back, and I just find him better. That distribution really does help us. That being said, Merritt did okay in the last game. So Flans or Kudus is the big question. And I feel like today we might bring back in Flans just to see what he can do, particularly as he has the link. We've actually now got a link, a nice strong link with literally every player in this team right now, which is, you know, those things matter, those little tiny things. But I am also going to move Siggy Johnson for today, maybe next match only actually, to a pressing forward on attack. Quite a defensive setup for Salernitana as well. We are bidding on Conceição to potentially extend his loan because we cannot afford to buy him, but Gladbach are being a bit annoying about it. Volpe, interestingly, is still out, despite having the same... Oh no, he had a virus. Moschatelli had flu. I mean, what virus he might... We could not possibly speculate. So that makes me and the other 2 free Musketeers very happy. In fact, I think we're going to bring back Emerson today, because actually, to be fair, look at his performances as of late. You know what? I'm going to give Constantinu another game, because he's on a suspension anyway, which means that the likelihood is Emerson's going to have to come back in anyway. And I realise it can be quite jarring with so many players leaving, but that was always part of the plan. Shift off Deadwood, bring in younger talent that can develop, and then we can sell them for more money. That's always going to be the case, because that's the only way we're ever going to really be able to turn any kind of profit at SAS right now, and that's essentially what we're doing. So expect some big financial moves in this transfer window, mostly outs. That I think there's very rarely going to be any ins unless I can sign up that French guy, but that's going to be end of the season anyway. I'd like to make sure that after this we're unbeaten in 8, but it would be nice to get a victory in here as well. And even with that, we're still maintaining our league position quite nicely. Yes, they were in good form, but 2 defeats have sort of dropped them down a little bit. But I'm still confident that the lads can deliver the goods today. We're essentially about as full strength as the team can be, with probably the exception of Carlo Volpe, but then, you know, we've got strong centre-backs anyway, so that's not really a huge concern of mine. Their shape is very defensive, so that is going to encourage a lot... Oh, no. Pavlic clears it off the line there. They're going to be relying on things like that. Set pieces, essentially, I think is going to be the way that Salernitana are going to get through us if they are to do so. Or, you know, long-range strikes, because they're not going to have many players up the pitch most of the time. We have really struggled to find any kind of forward momentum in this game. It feels like they're still sort of a bit shell-shocked after the Roma performance. He's round the side, and it's another good save from Moschatelli, and honestly, Salernitana have turned up so far, and we haven't. Half-time, 0-0. nothing happening in this game. I don't think I've actually seen us have any of these chances. So, we go again in the second half. I've moved him back to his supporting role because it just feels like he gets isolated, I suppose, when he's slightly further up, and we're not able to find him very often. So, we will see. It was a failed... I mean, it's hard to tell over such a short space of time, but it did not look particularly fruitful for us. It's a shocking day here as well. But once again, we're staying defensively strong. Can he show some of that magic that got him that perfect hat-trick? He's into the box. Oh, it's a very, very poor pass. But once again, back in possession. We're starting to look a little bit more involved in this game now. Oh, what a pick out. Constantinu. Is there an option in the box, though? Lombardo's into the box. Back for Constantinu. And it's headed... Oh, by Quarto. Clipped into the channel. Sigurdsson will chase this, but it's going to be a corner. Wow, Vargas has just hammered that straight out of play. He could at least give away a throw-in for them, but we'll take this as an opportunity. Constance's ball through. It's going to come back to him, though. Loads of room. Whips it in. Uriarte. Good save. Nice. Nice. Sigurdsson holds the ball up nicely. That's a good ball for... Oh, Quarto's done brilliantly. Can he get into the box and get the shot away? Oh, dear. How on earth did that come off of his foot at that angle? We've definitely picked it up in the second half. It's been all us, but that needs something a bit more as Conceição's strike now is well saved by the goalkeeper. The pressure is starting to mount now. Oh, Dinko Pavlich putting a ball through and Lombardo's header is at the crossbar. I mean... it's a decision. Are we playing for a draw? Oh my god. Sassuolo 0, Salernitana 0. Second half was much, much better from us. Created enough to probably grab a goal, just couldn't quite get it in the net in the end. Yeah, but still, playing well, just not quite getting the results at the moment, but that it can come. It will come with time. We will get them. It's another game without a defeat, defensively strong again. We will get it right. And we're still fifth, incredibly. Right then, we're back. We went away to Milan in the Cup, and I saw their lineup, and I saw a 4-3-3, and my eyes just lit up, because this tactic works against them. So, 31 minutes on the clock here. Ball out on the left-hand side with Pavlich. He drops it to Cabrera. It's a gorgeous ball in, and who should be on the end of it? But, of course, Stimir Sigurdsson. Finally starting to find some form for the year. Made it 1-0. Then on 69 minutes, after a really just confident first-half performance, lovely ball over the top here for Flans, onto it to make it 2-0 away from home to give us a chance of getting to the quarter-final. But then, in the 78th minute, Paolo going down the left-hand side. He was excellent after coming off the bench here, just dropping it back across, comes into the box. Cabrera slots it home for 3-0 to Sassuolo. But Milan still had one last sting in the tail. In the second half, they massively improved in this game. I don't know what changed. The system was actually the same shape and everything, but they were able to get through us much more easily and eventually did get a goal back for 3-1. But it was not enough. And you can kind of see that, like, up until... Literally, this was around about half-time. They did nothing in the first half. Second half were a lot better, but we managed to grab a couple of goals quickly and got ourselves through to the next round of the Cup, the quarterfinals, where we will play Roma. And then fresh off the back of that result, we were at home against bottom of the league, Crotone. Sigurdsson drops the ball off. Paolo around the side for Flans, not off the bench, sorry, it was the last game, to grab another goal for the season for him for 1-0 on 28 minutes. And then the floodgates just opened. Moments later, some poor defending here. Sigurdsson with a lovely little ball around the side. Quarto in, dinks it over the goalkeeper in true Quarto style to make it 2-0 before half-time. But then, even before half-time, right on the stroke of half-time, Quarto picking up here, again driving into the middle, slotting it through, Marcos Paolo around the side, and there was Sigurdsson to slot home another goal to make it 3-0. In the second half, we kind of just took a little bit of a rest period, but then in the 75th minute, terrible play here, Quarto dispossesses his man, drives into the box, and absolutely smashes us home to make it 4-0 Sass. But there was still more yet to come. 87th minute, Keita's ball in, terrible defending from us, ended up giving them a bit of a cheap one, but it happens, I suppose. But then 95th minute, Max Lebert, yes, I'll tell you more about him in a minute, gets it out wide to Conceição, drops it across, and there was Flans in again for 5-1. Tremendous performance, probably one of our best attacking displays of the season. Again, Sigurdsson was just so good because he got a goal and an assist in today's game. He was linking up the play brilliantly, and that's what I want to see. When he's at his best, we can be brilliant. But then in our next game, things kind of just went a bit wrong. It was Roma in the Cup. Banch Arslan just literally goes round two people and slots Roma in front after 21 minutes. I hate that. From the set piece, basically, just runs with the ball and gets away with it. And literally the exact same thing happened after 45 minutes. This time there were more players getting back, but once again, he just makes a clever little run in behind here and makes it 2-0 on the stroke of half-time. We were kind of looking a bit faded at this point. Some slightly different players in the team. I actually started Lebert through the middle in this one just to give him a bit of experience through the centre. And again, just terrible defending, allowing Maleko in to make it 3-0 in the 81st minute. We were kind of just not playing very well, sadly. And then in the 89th minute, it got that little bit worse. Definitely our worst performance of the season. Roma have been very good against us in both games, just getting people down those side areas. 4-0. And so we crashed out the Cup. Pretty ignominious. But I don't think it was a 4-0 game, but we weren't very good at all. Milivojev still managed to play well, though, incredibly, but you can see there were some real struggling performers in this game. The Bear didn't do brilliantly, but not woeful, and he's very new. A lot of information on him in a minute, though. Next up, though, we had one of the maddest games, I think, of this entire save, if I'm honest. 15 minutes in here, Stevanovic just dinks around the defender here and smashes it home to make it 1-0 Cagliari. Ivica Hodak's very happy about that on 15 minutes. Then we actually, just a great ball in, and nobody was marking Calvo to make it 2-0 to Cagliari. Frustrating. And then, there was a guy marking the guy on the edge of the box, right? But for some reason, there isn't now, and I've checked, there is supposed to be, and I've looked at all the setups, there is a guy set to mark this guy, and for some reason, there just wasn't. And as a result, they ended up scoring directly from it, essentially. Slips it through, and Stevanovic was able to put it in for 3-0 to Cagliari. Very, very weird. Second half, we had to do something. Lombardo on the right, dropping around the side for Siggy Jonsson. A nice bit of hold-up play here, just takes it out wide, pops it across, Lombardo on the end of it to make it 3-1, and we were back in the match a little bit, which was nice to see. But that did not last very long, because, again, this time, it's almost the same exact goal. Stevanovic just picks the ball up, rolls it through, and it was 4-1 to Cagliari. Just a bad day for set-piece defending, sadly. But then, 75th minute on the clock, Siggy Jonsson again getting the ball in the box, holding it up well, drops it for Emerson. Eventually, his shot ricochets back into the path of Flans for another goal, and it was, I think, 4-2 at this point. I've actually lost track. Unfortunately, though, in the 80th minute, Cagliari were able to find yet another goal. Accardi getting the ball here, knocks it around the side, Raspadori onto the end of it, and it's just a very good finish at the near post for 5-2. Frustrating. But there was more! 82nd minute, Quarto now dinks one over the top, Uriarte on the end of it for 5-3. And I'll be honest with you, I feel like it was a harsh result. We weren't actually 5-3 bad. We created a ton of chances in this game. The defence just let us down in places, quite simply. To concede 5 goals off of that, and 5 goals in some weird ways from those set pieces. I find that they're just a bit broken at times this year in FM. But it's so hard to mitigate because you know what's supposed to be happening and sometimes it just doesn't. And I think it can come down to things like decisions, positioning, I don't know. But it is really annoying when you tell a guy to stand somewhere and he's just like, yeah, no, don't feel like it, boss. So it is what it is, but hey, a result. Not the best though. Even Hodak got a good performance. Ugh. Thankfully, though, the bounce back was on. An own goal from a corner gave us the lead against Atalanta, who, for the second time this season, had a red card in the first half against us. They basically handed us 2 wins. Then Emerson on the right-hand side here pulls it back across. Pavlish's shot deflects into the path of Marcus Palo for 2-0. Just a really completely solid performance. Did our thing, peppered them with chances, and eventually got the second goal in this game. Yeah, twice this season, Atalanta have had a player sent off around about the same time in the game as well. And as a result, we've beaten them 4-0 and 2-0, and it's just handed us 6 points. Useful. So in spite of some kind of weird results in there, we are still 5th. I mean, to be fair, those wins, the win against Atalanta was massive for us because it was like, I don't know about that game because they've obviously come back into form a little bit, but it keeps us 5th in the league. We're a point above Roma, a point above Cagliari, and now 6 clear of Genoa in 8th place. But things are still looking very good. It's very strange that in my head I'm thinking sometimes I'm a bit frustrated with some of our performances, but you literally can't win every game. And I think we're doing a pretty good job of it so far this season and have come up with some really strong performances. I wanted to say, what did I say? I wanted to target 55, 57 points this season. Well, we've got 16 games to get 20 points, and I really don't see any reason why we can't go and do that and get at least 7th spot this year, which would be huge for us. And the finances. Speaking of the finances, oh, we've had some outs, friends. We've had some outs. And I felt like it was the right thing to do at the time. And I still stand by it. Firstly, Renato Sanchez has gone to Rio Ave for free. Not for free, sorry, for 300, literally the price he's valued at, £325,000. And mainly it was because his contract's up at the end of the season anyway. We didn't really want him here in the first place. So now we've got 300 grand for him. And we get his money off the wage bill, which was always good. Caicedo has gone to Assad over in... I actually can't remember what league they play in. I think it's Qatar. Yeah, it is Qatar. For £9.25 million with some added bonuses on top of that. But, he was on £80,000 a week here. So we got 10 million for him. There were some Premier League offers for him too. But he wanted me to pay him to join the Premier League teams. And I was going to, because at the end of the day, it would still gain us money. But then Assad came in and were like, no, you don't need to do that, buddy. So I'm like, yes, off you pop, son. So he is now gone. I liked him a lot, but again, it's just about trying to lower the age of the squad, lower the wage bill, and I think those are one of the things that just had to happen, particularly as he wasn't playing very much. And also, something that just occurred to me, we don't need Caicedo as a backup to Dinko Pavlish, because if Pavlish is out, Milivojev can play in there. He's so good in that role anyway, so it's fine. And lastly, Andrea Bianco has left to go to Guangzhou Evergrande. 15.25 million was the deal in there. Now, I know his value is higher than that. You can see that he's on massive wages there. He's on fairly large wages here too. And I realised he was a good player. But I felt like at the time, we just needed to sort ourselves out as far as get as much money as we can right now and then start again, essentially. And don't worry, we've replaced him immediately. And I actually think we've lucked out in this one, to be fair. This is Max Lebert. Oh, so let me just tell you about Max Lebert. He's the Frenchman I mentioned that was going to be released at the end of the season by Stade Brestois. I was like, you know what? We'll wait. We managed to thankfully get the deal done. £22,000 a week, which is fine. But when he came in, I mean, he's 2.5 stars now, but he was rated at 3 stars and 5 stars as well. Whereas in my scout reports, he was like 1.5, 2 stars with like just a tiny bit off the end here. So we've actually ended up, in theory, according to my people, getting a better player than we thought we were going to get. But the thing is, he's got 16 finishing, he's got great, this is the key thing for me that separates him from Bianco, is he has the work rate and a bit better teamwork as well, but particularly the work rate, which means he actually can play that pressing forward role if we want him to. He's only 18, loads of room to grow, and we've paid £400,000 for him. To me, if that isn't stonks, I don't know what is. Like, when you compare the two of them, Bianco is a tiny bit better in a few areas. He's a bit better physically, but again, he's also 7 years older, and his mentals are marginally better. Not even that great better, you know? They're the same height. The other key thing about Max Lebert is he's good on both feet. Very strong and strong. He can use both feet. I think that this was the deal that we needed to make, and I'm very, very pleased with it. I think he's got a long way to develop, but I think he's the type of player that can, and I'm excited about his future. And I just feel like to trade £15 million for £400,000 to get a player who's basically as good, if not better in some other areas, I'm really happy with that. So the club is now much more financially stable. The wage bill's been dropped by another like £200,000 essentially. We're doing what the board want me to do, really, and that's all I really can do at this point. They're a lot more satisfied. I'm happier with it too, because everything's just feeling a lot more tight and how I want it. And it's going to give us way more spaces in the squad if we were to want to bring in some players in the summer that fit the style we want to play, because we definitely do need to get a wide playmaker, definitely. Skov Olsen, I can't actually justify him in the team anymore. He has been dreadful for a long time now, and I think I've defended him a little bit too much. And I know you could say the same thing about Siggy Jonsson, but look, he has actually stepped up in the last 5 games. He's scoring a few goals, but he's getting assists too. There was a game, I can't remember who it was against, where he got like an 8.1 despite not getting an assist or a goal, which was kind of mad. Selection advice, let's do it. See who is available for today's game. Constantino will come back in for Emerson? Yes, who's still lacking a bit of fitness levels, but Cabrera's back, so it's not the end of the world. Pavlish and Flans. Flans is such a strange one, but like, I can't really deny the 8 goals this season from the Mez role, really, can I? Also, I'm going to drop out Conceição in today's game, and I'm actually going to start Marcus Paulo on this left-hand side. Where is he? Even as a winger, he just seems to do stuff, and I don't know why. It's weird, but I want to see if I can give him a chance to play there. Skov Olsen will not play. I will start Lombard. In fact, I might even play Conceição on the right-hand side here. We did it against Crotone, and it worked very well. So that's what we're going to go for today's game away at Sassuolo. Sassuolo? Away at Sassuolo, Matt. Yeah, that's what it is. But it does still feel like one of those weird ones that we could potentially slip up in, although they haven't got the best record as of late. If I recall, we beat Samp last year. I think it was 1-0. So hopefully the fact that the lads are definitely looking in better form as of late is going to help with that. I want to see how Marcus Paulo performs in this wing role. There's something about him. I think because of his some of his other traits, he's a winger, but he'll sit slightly narrower without actually operating like an inside forward. Maybe it's just what I saw in that one game against Crotone, but he was just popping up in some very interesting places, and he runs like crazy. Ortelli now on the left-hand side. Just simple block, great tackle again. Conceição. We'll bring in a slightly different position. It's worth giving it a crack right now. Conceição on the right-hand side. Now, obviously, you'll want to cut back onto his left if he can, but he's into the box, though. Flans. Oh, and a lovely little flick. I don't know who that was. I'm guessing it was Quarto. Marcus Paulo. Pavlish. Here we go. Some nice quick stuff on the edge of the area. Quarto! It's a good effort at the near post again. Well played. Quarto again. Edge of the box for Dinko. Pavlish on his wrong foot, though. Drops it short for Quarto. That's poor, but Pavlish has still got it. Please don't shoot, Dinko. I wish he would have just picked a pass, but there was not a lot of options. I just want this to be a classic Sassuolo, simple, get your 1.5 XG, win it 2-0 or something. Don't give them anything. That's what I want out of today's game, really. That's what I'm looking for. Siggy Jonsson. Oh, he could have looked in behind, but it doesn't matter because Quarto is looking in behind. He's got across his man. That's a great save from Tonon. He's been in some good positions already so far, Quarto. One of the other things I find about Siggy Jonsson, even in games when he's not doing brilliantly, when he drops deep or makes those slight weird runs into the channel, they have to sometimes send someone to follow him, and it very often... Oh, Conceição's through here. It's a good effort at the near post. It's deflected back, but it often leaves a little bit of space for someone like Quarto to run in behind, and that seems to be where he gets all of his chances from, those little spaces that emerge. But so far, really happy with this first half. Good ball in, and it's a good header over the bar from Milivojev. Performance-wise, first half's been exactly what I was looking for, but we just need to step it up a little bit. Conceição's performed extremely well out on this right-hand side here. Siggy has taken a slight knock, so Max Libera is going to have to come in and do half an hour here. I don't know whether that's good or bad. He might give us something slightly different in this game. We're going to wait and find out, but it's a lot to put on the shoulders of someone so young. But in he comes. That's a good challenge to win it. And Quarto could go past his man here. He's so good at doing this. Drops it back for Pavlich. Around the side, Paolo! Oh, come on, lads. You can do it. Find a winner. I just want to... We've not had a goal in either livecom today, have we? There was the Salernitana game, and now this. Marcus Paolo, ball through. Leber's on the end of it. Max Leber! It's a good-ish effort, but the goalkeeper's equal to it. Lunardon. Oh, that's a lot of space. Oh, dear. Deflection straight back to the player, and it's a goal for Sampdoria out of nowhere. I've picked some doozies as live comms lately, haven't I? Christ. Oh, come on. Good block. Kudus will pick it up. Wow, that was some speed. Christ. Go on, Mohamed. Ball across, all the way through, and it's blocked again. It's difficult to know what to do after games like this a lot of the time, because you're sat there going, well, we've actually played pretty well for the most part, and then still not got the result. In fact, we've lost this one because of a mistake. Basically did exactly what I would have expected. We've just somehow just... Ah, dear. It is what it is. I know I say it a lot, but it just is. I'm not going to sit here and tear things apart when we've played pretty well. Again, we're just having some terrible luck in games and just not quite taking our chances. Yeah, Moscatelli was not good today, but then what was he supposed to do about the goal? We remain... Well, I say remain. We're actually down to 6th now. But nevertheless, we're still right in there. We're 6th in the league. That's kind of where we're expected to be right now, and I'm still fine with that. Throwing away points against teams like Sampdoria is not ideal, and results against the likes of Salernitana, Empoli... Those ones do stick in my craw a little bit, but we've also picked up some other good results elsewhere, so it kind of balances out, and I'm sure this will come back around. Like, we had that pretty fortuitous draw at Milan, we had the pretty fortuitous win at Milan in the Cup. I would be much more concerned if we were playing really badly in the games, as far as, like, creation and whatnot. I'm a lot less concerned about that, and the fact is, we're still 6th in the league. That's better than I would have been expecting this season. So even if it is a bit of a rocky patch there, we've had rocky patches before, and then we went on a crazy unbeaten run. Although the next 3 games could test us on that one, and yeah. So if you've enjoyed this, drop a like. That'd be awesome. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. That'd be sick too. I stream on Twitch Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, so go follow there as well. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for, well, another tough run of fixtures, really. It's going to test us, but then we get an easier. That's how it works. I'll see you soon. Thank you so much for watching. Hold your gun. Capybara. Bye-bye.